Katha Pravishyamavacham Mam Prasuptam Sanjeevayatthikilashaktidarasvadhamna Anyamscha Hastacharana Shravanatvagadin Pranaham Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam Yam Gurum Hisvayam Satyaha Prajna Bhakti Vinitayaha Deeptishchapi Vrata Nityam Tam Gurum Pranamamyaham Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhanaktu Sahavirjam Karavavahai Tejasvina Vadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Which verse?
53.
53. Tvakchakshushrutirasanam nipunathihi Ghranam cha drishtvodhitam Vaivarcharvyatam bubhubhyayitarat Sachit sukhadatmanaha Yesham jagrati sambhavam cha vilayam Svape katha sakshinam Svatmanam paramavyayam dhruvamajam Brahmathayamoshochati Yosavindriyachittasanmatimahan Mayavaro vyapakaha Alingasan purushosya tasya dupadam Nodrikpathe tishtati Nainam pashyati kaschanendriyaganaihi Yako vidhanyah punaha Buddhya hritstitaya vicharya labhate Yo veda tatsomritaha Sakam yatra hridendriyani vishayo vyavartitanyasate Tushnim yatra nadeshtate chadishana Yatra pramattah pumanim Tasminnatmani saspuratya vishayaha Vajo hrudopi svayam Yasmadetadabhut vinashyati yataha Shunyam tu tatsyat katham Karyasyasya nidarshanadupalabhe Tasti hetum param Svatmanam pratamam tato nirupadhehe
Tattvam sfutam bhasate
Samyajnanina eva matra tu yada Kama vinashtas same Hritsthaesha tada mrito
bhavativa brahmaiva
Sampadyate Martyoham mukajosmi meva puridam Gehalikam manakam Yajñoham dhanikosmi cheti hridaya granthir yada bhidyate Maya pratyarupayesha vidushaha Sarvo vikamastada Nashtasyadamritopahatyatha buddhaha Vedopadeshastviyan. So in the previous class, we completed verse 57 and I told that this verse is something which is extremely important because it also concludes with the statement Vedopadeshastu yan. This is the sum and substance of what has been stated in the Vedic scriptures. Vedopadeshastu yan. So what is the Vedopadesha that we saw? So So it has to do with two mantras. See, and just tell that two mantras and then we'll move on further. So those two mantras are Yada sarve pramuchyante kama yesya hridishritaah athamartyo mrito bhavati atra brahma samashnute Yada sarve prabhidyante hridayasyeha granthayah athamartyo mrito bhavati etavadhyanushāsanam. See, etavadhi anushāsanam. So, hridaya granthihi yada bhidyate. Hridayasyeha granthayah. So, granthihi is basically a knot. So, as if there is a knot. So, there is actually no knot. So, this knot, hridaya granthi, is essentially the abhimana, as we saw in the previous class. So, the moment this person leaves this dehabhimana, indriyabhimana and various abhimana and mamatvabhimana in various things that he has acquired during this janma, okay, he might have acquired or he would have just got it by the acquiring of his ancestors. Whatever it is, in those if the abhimana is dropped, atha martyaha amrito bhavati. So he just transforms himself into an immortal being. Etavadhi anushāsanam. Etavadhi anushāsanam means essentially one has to put efforts in trying to sever these bondages that have been created by us. This is what ultimately the Shruti says. So whichever way you do, so it is something which is left to us. So it can be through karma marga, it can be through bhakti marga, it can be through jnana marga. Ultimately it leads to this jnana marga, is what the Upanishads very clearly say. Athamartyaha amrito bhavati etavadhi anushāsanam. In fact, I will very quickly read some 2-3 sentences in the commentary of Bhagavad Pada of mantra 15, then we move on to the other two verses. Ahamidam shariram mamedam dhanam sukhi dukhi chahamasmi ityevamadi lakshanaha tadviparitat brahmatma pratyayopajanat upajana tadviparyat brahmatma pratyaya upajanat brahmaivahamasmi asamsari iti vinashteshu avidyāgranthishu. So what we have to understand is that this is something which is a natural phenomenon that we need to understand. In fact, somebody was asking me yesterday, how to get rid of this asadvasanas. It is only by creating sadvasana, asadvasana will go. In fact, I was traveling in a flight just 2 days back. So it was quite stinking. They say it is because of rainy season, moisture and so on. Then they came and then sprayed. So some sadvasana, it removed the asadvasana, right? So this is something which we see, I mean, in our day-to-day business. So we see that. So how to remove this asadvasana in our buddhi? Sadvasana has to be brought in. That is all, no other way. And it is a natural phenomenon. That is what he is trying to say. Aham dukhi, aham sukhi, aham yavam lakshanaha, aham dhani. So if you just keep all these abhimanas, then you are getting into this unending circle. So you have to sever this, is what he is trying to say. And how is that possible? And Bhagavad Pada here clearly hints. Brahmaivaham asmi asamsari iti. Aham brahmaiva asmi aham asamsari. This bhavana has to be cultivated. Once you cultivate this bhavana, aham samsari iti bhavana will go away. Brahmaivahamasmi asamsariti vinashteshu. Through this, vinashteshu avidyagranthishu. See, it is this bhavana which will sever all those knots which you have already created. See? So that is what he is trying to say. Brahmaivahamasmi asamsariti vinashteshu avidyagranthishu. Tannimittaha kamaha mulato vinashyanti. It is this granthi which has created various kamas. So once you sever this granthi, then this granthi generated kamas will all disappear. That is what he is trying to say. Tan nimittaha kamaha mulato vinashyanti. Atha, as a result, Matyaha mruto bhavati etavadhi etavanmatram. See, nadhikamasti tyashanka karthavya. See, this is a very beautiful statement which Bhagavad Pada says. There is nothing more to be learnt. Adhikamasti iti ashanka neva karthavya. Don't think that there is something more. This is the essence, sum and substance. Adhikamasti ashanka kartavya. Adhikamasti ashanka nakartavya. Anushasanam says anushishtihi upadeshaha. Kasya upadeshaha? Sarva Vedāntanam iti vakya seshaha. Sarva Vedāntanam iti vakya seshaha. Idam anushasanam. So all that has been beautifully summarized by these two mantras. Then we move on to the last 2-3 mantras. Maybe we will just complete this. I'll just read the mantras, then we will go to the verse. Shatanchaika cha hridayasya nadyaha tasam murdhanam abhinisritaika tayordhamayan amritattamiti vishvanganya utkramane bhavanti. Angushthamatrah purushontaraatma sada jananam hridaye sannivishtaha tam swachharirat pravruhet munjadiva ishikandhairjena tam vidyachukramamritam tam vidyachukramamritamiti. These two mantras, 16 and 17, have been captured by Rāmarāyakavi in the last two verses, 58 and 59. This is what we will be seeing now. So if time permits, I will return to Bhashya. Otherwise, we will just read these two verses and the commentary that is there. Now take verse 58. Yastvanyassa gunam brihat kalayate.
Yastvanyassa gunam brihat kalayate. Yastvanyassa gunam brihat kalayate.
Nadya shatadanyaya.
Nadya shatadanyaya. Nadya shatadanyaya.
Murdhanam pratiyataya hridayataha.
Murdhanam pratiyataya hridayataha. Murdhanam pratiyataya hridayataha.
Gachannuparyeshasaha.
Gachannuparyeshasaha. Gachannuparyeshasaha.
Vidvan brahmapadam prayati kritinaha.
Vidvan brahmapadam prayati kritinaha. Vidvan brahmapadam prayati kritinaha.
Karmanurupam punaha.
Karmanurupam punaha. Karmanurupam punaha.
Nadibhistvitaravirutkramanagā.
Nadibhistvitaravirutkramanagā. Nadibhistvitaravirutkramanagā.
Vishvanglabhante gatihi.
Vishvaglabhante gatihi. Vishvaglabhante gatihi.
So this verse 58 basically describes the path through which other people attain mukti in due course. So what we have to understand is there are three things which are stated in Shrutis. One is Nirguna Brahmopasaka. The other is Saguna Brahmopasaka. The third is Kritihi. The word Kritihi here means those who are engaged in various kinds of karmas. So this is how we have to just classify in order to understand this. So Nirguna Brahmopasaka, so what happens is, so the Shruti is very clearly say, Atra Brahma Samashnute Natasya Prana Utkramanti. This is how Shruti proclaims. Tasya Pranaha Notkramanti, he doesn't have anything. So he Brahmaiva San Brahma Apyeti. So this is what Shruti very clearly says. Now, Atha Matyaha Amruto Bhavati, this was stated. Okay. So, Yasya Kamaha eva notpadante prajahati yada kaman sarvan partha manogatan atmani atmana dushtaha. So, this person's state is described. Now, prajahati yada kaman is absolutely impossible for any other person. Atmanaha dvitiyam anyadasti, the moment you think of, then kama will be there. Okay. Now, for those people, Saguna Brahmopasakaha, so anything, any form that they conceive of, so for them, what happens? So this is there in the Brahma Sutra also towards the end. So they describe this. So he is trying to capture that. In fact, Bhagavad Pada has a very interesting phrase here. I will just read those phrases, I will not get into the commentary in detail. He says, Atra Brahma Samashnute iti uktatvat Natasya Prana Utkramanti Brahmaiva San Brahmapyeti iti Shrutyantaracha. Then he has an interesting phrase. Ye punaha manda brahmavidaha. There is nothing like Sukshma Brahma and there is nothing Manda Brahma. Ye punaha mandashchate brahmavidaha. Okay, so alpha. So, Manda Brahmavidaha Vidyantara Shilinascha Brahma Lokabhajaha. We'll just come to that. So, Ye punaha Nirguna Brahmavidaha. Nirguna Brahma is Aparimitam Brahma. So, any other fixed form that you think of. Okay. So that Vidyantara Shilinascha Brahmaloka Bhajaha Ye Chetat Viparitaha Samsara Bhajaha Teshamesha Gatihi Gati Visheshaha Uchyate. So how do they take the path? Okay. After this Prana Yoga, what happens to them? Is what is stated here. Because the question was initially Yayam prete vichikitsa manushe astityeke nayam astiti chaike. So as far as Nirguna Brahmavidaha, Natasya Prana Utkramanti, everything is over. So as far as the other two people are concerned, so one is the Saguna Brahmopasaka, the other is Karminaha. So these two things are just described in this verse itself. Okay. So broadly classifying, so those who are able to meditate upon some particular form and then gain some kind of power, okay, so those people, and those who are normally engaged in this mundane activity, various kinds of karma. So these two people are just considered in this verse. Okay, so that he broadly, nicely classifies, and then he says, this one, what happens is, there is a description of a nadi called Sushumna nadi. Now, this is sort of hinted in this verse. Now, let us get into the verse. Yastvanyaha sagunam brihat kalayate. Understand? Anyaha means Nirguna Brahmavidaha Anyaha. Okay? So, Anyaha means other fellow. Yastvanyaha sagunam brihat kalayate. Brihat means Brahma here. So, Sagunam Brahma kalayate. Kalayate means jayati upaste. So, this fellow, Nadya Shatadanyaya, Shatat Anyaya Nadya. So, there is a certain description that we find that from the Hridaya, so So some 100 nadis emanate, and there is one special nadi which goes on. This is what we call as Sushumna nadi. Okay. This Anyaya Nadya means Sushumnaya. Murdhanam Pratiyataya. So that nadi is taken to be connected with, okay, so at the top of the head. See, so through that, so that Murdhanam Pratiyataya Hridayataha Gachan Uparyeshasaha. So this fellow, this Saguna Brahmopasaka, true Pasaka, so he takes this path, okay, through this nadi, this prana leaves. So this Sukshma Sharira, so along with that, it just leaves, the Jiva leaves. Uparyeshasaha, it just goes where? See, so he says, Vidvan Brahmapadam Prayati. So there are some detailed descriptions which you will find in Brahma Sutras also. So that this person through the Aditya Loka, he goes to what is known as Satya Loka or Brahma Loka. Both names are given. Vidvan Brahmapadam. This Brahmapadam should be understood as, see, not this Brahman, okay. So Brahma Loka, whatever we describe in Shruti, Brahmapadam Prayati. So he goes. So up to that we need to understand what happens for the Saguna Brahmopasaka. After that he says, Kritinaha Karmanurupam Punaha. Kritinaha. Normally the word Kriti refers to, see, some Vishishtam Karma. Asya Astiti Kriti. That's what we say. Prashastam Karma. Ini Pratyaya. Okay. So Kriti we say. Generally Kriti means Punyashali, the one who has done a lot of good deeds. So he is described as Kriti. But in general, one who is engaged in karma can be described as Kriti. There is a Bhagavad Gita also, no? Karmana. See, so instead of doing nothing, so at least get into some karma. He is Shrestha somewhere, he says. Anyway, even in this verse, Karmanyevadhikarasya Mapledudana Makarmapala Hetu Mate Sangostu Akarmani. So there itself it says, elsewhere also we have, okay, Karmanurupam Punaha. So what happens to them? For them he says, Karmanurupam. Depending upon the kind of act that this fellow has performed. Karmanurupam Punaha. So then it says, Sadam means there are different nadis through which it can go. That is the idea. So depending upon the kind of karma that this fellow has performed, it will live through that particular nadi and then he will gain another janma according to what he has done. Karmanurupam punaha nadibhihi nadibhistvitaraabhihi itarabhihi nadibhihi utkramanagaha vishvang labhante gatihi. Vishvak gatihi labhante. Vishvak. Vishvang means sarvataha. Vishvak. Vishvang sarvataha. So he just reaches. This 100 is just a upalakshana. Okay. So he takes hundreds of other paths, hundreds of other janmas. So this is what it says. Gatihi. So labhante. So it can be Devayoni, it can be Devayoni, it can be Manushayoni, it can be Tirjanyoni, it can be Pakshiyoni, whatever it is. Okay. So all kinds of forms that this Vaso will take depending upon what he has done. Okay. So if he has done some good deeds, then even if he is born as a dog, he may be some American dog which can just go in a BMW car. Okay. So there is one person I saw. So they just carried the dog in the flight. So there are other dogs here, so which get only hit by stones. So adale or punya papa vishesha is there. Okay. So now let us read the commentary. Dve brahmani veditavye ityupanyasya. In fact, initially it started with that. Upanyasya nirguna brahmavidaha phalam tad vedana prakarancha uktam. So how is this to be obtained? So the vedana prakara is what we finally saw. Okay. So granthi vibhedana, abhimana tyagaha. So vedanancha muktam idanim. Now saguna brahmopasakasya brahmaloka praptihi kena prakarena ittetadaha yastviti. See, in fact, most people will go only through this marga. In fact, when I was in the America, see, this US, so some lecture was organized. So only some few people came. More or less at the same time there was some Satyanarayana Puja. There were hundreds of people. So this organizer was telling me, see, for Vedanta Vichara or any other intellectual activity, only some people come. Whereas for other things, lot of people go. Okay, this is what he was saying. So why is this? This is because they want some phala. Understand? So jnana itself is phala, is not understood. So Satyanarayana Puja, if you do, you will get this phala, that phala, there will be some 20 other things which will be listed. Dhananya vriddhim, Kudumba vriddhim, so all that will be stated. So he says there is an attraction towards that, whereas attraction towards jnana is very less. That is what he is saying. Saguna brahmopasakasya, for them, brahmaloka praptihi kena prakarena. How does this happen? Ittetadaha yastviti. This is avatarika for this. Yastvanyaha. So there is a typo here. See, nirguna brahmavid vilakshanaha. Nirguna brahmavid vilakshanaha. That's all. That D is something that's wrong. Yastvanyaha nirguna brahmavid vilakshanaha. Okay, the one who is different from nirguna brahmavid. Okay, for him there is no gati. So for others there is a gati which is being described here. Vilakshanaha tatah parascha sagunam brahma kalayate dhyayati. Okay, so he does various upasanas and thereby gains various kinds of powers. Okay, so kalayate dhyayati sayesha vidwan. So many of them are belonging to the category of kritis. Even when they do, it is a certain karma activity that they engage. Not even this upasana. So saha hridayataha hridaya pundarikaat murdhanam prati yataya gataya. So murdhanam prati yataya. So that which has gone towards the top of the head. Okay, so there is a randhra which they say. Through that, there are various species who do this upasana, and then through that shirobhedaha, this may go. This is what they say. Gataya shatan nadi shatat anyaya. That's what he says. There are hundreds of nadis which go. So there is one separate nadi. That's what he is saying. Shatadhikaya ityetat. Shatadhikaya ityetat. That is what has been described by the word sushumna. Okay, in commentary. Nadya, in fact, he says, you see, Nadya sushumnaya murdhanam bhitveti sheshaha. So, in fact, there is a certain ritual which is performed. So, those who do this kind of sannyasa and then upasana, so there is supposed to be something which is happening. So, even if there is no bhedana that happens, so they try to do some bhedana. So, this is a certain ritual that is normally done. Okay. So, murdhanam bhitva iti sheshaha upari gachan brahmapadam satyalokam prayati. That's what you have to understand. The word brahmapadam here means satyaloka. Satyalokam prayati. The word Nadya, see, I think it is to be made bold. It is there in the mantra. Kritinam, now he comes to neither Nirgunopasaka nor Sagunopasaka. So other fellows. Okay. So Kritinam Gatayaha Asya Bhinna Evetyaha. I think there also, I think you should give a gap. See, otherwise there will be a problem. Abhinna people may think. So it is different. Okay. So this is different. Their path is different. Bhinna eva ityaha. Ityaha. Normally one puts a hyphen here. Kritinah punaha karminastu karmanurupam yatha tatha. For them, karmanurupam phalam. Okay. Karmanurupam yatha tatha. Itarabhihi nadhibhihi utkramanam gacchanti. So for them, so the passage will be through various other nadis. Okay. Gadibhihi gacchanti utkramanagaha bhutva. So kim bhavati means definitely there is a janmantara. Nayamasti chaike is ruled out. Okay. So that is what. So Vishpak Nana Vidhaha Gatihi. Nana Vidhaha Gatihi. Deva Manushya Tiryagadini Janmani Labhante. Depending upon the kind of deeds that he has performed, so he will be born in various kinds of yonis. Deva Manushya Tiryagadini Janmani Labhante Prapnuvanti. So this is what he says. So the idea is, so depending upon the karma that you have performed, so you will get a particular kind of janma. But one has to be sure that nahi kalyanagat kaschit durgatim tata gacchati. Prapya punyagatam lokan ushitva shashwati samaha shuchinam shrimatam gehe yoga bhrashto bhi jayate. This is something which we have to very clearly understand. Okay. So whether we reach this ultimate state or not, any effort that has been put towards gaining this is not going to be futile. Okay. So that is why he just said this gati vichara is over. Now in the next verse he says, okay, so this has to do with the 17th mantra in the Upanishad. Angushthamatrah purushantaratma sadajananam hridaye sannivishtaha tam swacharirat pravrihet munjadiva ishikan dhairyena tam vidyachukramamritam tam vidyachukramamritamiti. See, whenever there is a repetition, so it means Upanishad is over. Okay, and sometimes iti may also be added. See, tam vidyachukramamritam tam vidyachukramamritam iti. This is said 2 times, which means it is something which is extremely important. Vidyat means may you know. May you know him. Tam vidyat. Kidesham vidyat, shukram amritam vidyat. Kam vidyat, kidesham vidyat, both are stated here. Okay, so how is he? How is to be known? How he is to be known? So that he just hinted through this example. Swacharirat pravrihet munjadiva ishikam dhairyena. This is what Shruti says. Munja is the name of a particular kind of blade of grass. So that is what is used even to make this mounji. In the Upanayana when it is done, so they try to use a particular kind of darbha grass. So that is something which will not be very sharp, so different from that. It will be nice. And there you can pull something out. Okay, some stalk will come out. So that is what he is trying to say here. That is what is called the fine stalk is called Ishika. So Munjadiva Ishikam Dhairyena. Dhairyena here could be understood as with determination. Boldly do one. So don't become faint-hearted if you do not understand by reading 5 times, 10 times. So these Upanishads, whenever they try to convey something, so it is all confusing, sir, somebody will say. One of my students says, it is all very confusing. I said, so this is something which is confusing because you have not put enough efforts, that is all. Okay. So what is not confusing, you tell me. Okay. So any kind of bank activity, anybody, somebody says, it is thoroughly confusing to me, I just don't understand anything. Okay. So it just fails to get into my mind. So whereas some fellows are just into it. How? You just engage for not days, months, years. So then, how much have you put? So that is what we have to understand. So dhairyena here means with determination. Okay. So that this jnana is something which is going to come to you. Okay. How can it escape? So that is what is meant by dhairyena. See, tam swacharira pravridhet munjadiva ishikan dhairyena tam vidyat. You have to gain this jnana. Tam vidyat. Repeatedly it says. Shukram amritam. See, shukram amritam. See, this is, tam here refers to this atmanam. Shuddham vidyat. Amritam vidyat. See, shukram amritam. I am atma najayate mriyate. Shariram jayate mriyate. So this separation has to be done. The idea here is, you just have to understand this Atma is different from this Sharira Indriya, so upon which I have superimposed this Atma. So that is the cause for all sorts of complex that you have created about yourself. So this Adhyasa, Abhimana, has to be gotten. That's why he is trying to say, Tam Atmanam Amritam Vidyat. Tam Atmanam Amritam Vidyat. Tam Atmanam Shuddham Vidyat. Tam Vidyat Chukram Amritam. Tam Vidyat Chukram Amritam Iti. Okay. So this Atma is simply Chinmatra Rupa. In fact, this is something which has been beautifully stated by a nice example. Okay. By this Bhamatikara right at the beginning. He says, Yoham balye pitaram anvabhavam soham idanim pranaptru nanubhavami. So what more example is required for you to understand? So this aham pratyaya vishaya, which is Atma, yoham balye pitaram anvabhavam. Okay. So I was enjoying the lap of my father. Balye. Yoham balye pitaram anvabhavam. Sometimes we used to, see, I remember now, so we used to fight, myself and my sister. So we all sleep together. Then there is no separate bed, nothing. Okay. So there is one mat will be there. So we will all spread ourselves together. So whether father will turn and put his hand on me or her. Okay. Yoham balye pitaram anvabhavam. Understand? So yoham balye pitaram anvabhavam. Soham idanim pranaptru nanubhavam. So now he says, so now I am enjoying my grandchildren. So is the aham different? That is all. See? Then you had a glowing skin. Now you have a skin which has shrunk. That is all. See, that aham is one and the same. So that is what he is saying. So then this atmanam sharirat vibhajya pashyet. So that is what munjadiva ishikam dhairyena. And the description is Angushthamatrah Purushontarattma. This is Antaratma. Antaratma means Sharirendriyadibhyaha Vyatiriktaha Hridaye Prakashamana. You have to understand this. One who becomes evident. So when I try to use this logic which has been presented by the Shruti and seen something distinct from all this inside. Okay? Because you cannot relate Atma outside. Where can you say? Even if you want to understand. So do we say whether it is inside or outside? Understand? That's why they always say Angushthamatraha. See, Upalabdhi. Upalabdhi means it is seen. Even if you want to conceal, where will you conceal? So Sarvantma, let us say, Sarvavyapi. Sarvavyapi, even if it is Sarvavyapi, will you conceive in this microphone here or will you conceal here? See, that is why they say Angushthamatraha Purushontarattma Sadajananam Hridaye Sannivishtaha. Hridaye Sannivishtaha. Even if you want to conceive of, see, your beloved who is staying somewhere, so where will you conceive? So she is in my heart now. Where will she be? Is she in your heart? So she is in my heart, Nanartham. You understand? So this is where Upalabdhisthana is a way of expressing. So when we express something in words, so this is a common terminology which has been adopted. Okay. In fact, even in Ramayana he says, no, Asya devya manastasmin tasya chasyam pratishthitam teneyam sacha dharmatma muhurtamapi jivati. Hanuman says, Asya devyaha manastasmin tasya chasyam pratishthitam. Okay, now let us read this verse. Bhutanam hridaye sthitassa purushaha.
Bhutanam hridaye sthitassa purushaha. Bhutanam hridaye sthitassa purushaha.
Sthitassa purushaha, not sthitassa.
Bhutanam hridaye sthitassa purushaha. Bhutanam hridaye sthitassa purushaha.
Anguštha pramana sada.
Anguštha pramana sada. Anguštha pramana sada.
Dehatam sakalantaram pravibhajet.
Dehatam sakalantaram pravibhajet. Dehatam sakalantaram pravibhajet.
Munjadishikamiva.
Munjadishikamiva. Munjadishikamiva.
Dhairyena sthiradarshano thatamayet.
Dhairyena sthiradarshano thatamayet. Dhairyena sthiradarshano thatamayet.
Atmanamadyam brihat.
Atmanamadyam brihat. Atmanamadyam brihat.
Brahmaatmaikyvidevameti paramam.
Brahmaatmaikyvidevameti paramam. Brahmaatmaikyvidevameti paramam.
Brahmamritam nirmalam.
Brahmamritam nirmalam. Brahmamritam nirmalam.
Bhutanam hridaye sthitassa purushaha. Bhutanam hridaye sthitaha. Angushthamatrah purushaha is just paraphrasing it. Hridaye sthitaha. Sthitaha means upalabhyate. You are always there in my heart, Abhina. Okay. Bhutanam hridaye sthitassa purushaha. Anguštha pramana sada. Just some kind of a small entity. So Anguštha pramana sada in some form. Dehahattam sakalantaram pravibhajet. Dehat means from the physical body. You understand this Atman, okay, the locus of the notion I, to be different from all this Sharira and so on. Dehahattam sakalantaram. The sakalantaram means this I is there for every individual. Okay? Not only you, even mosquito. Sakalantaram pravibhajet. Munjadishikamiva. How do we separate? There is something which is there, fine thing inside. That is why the simile. Okay? So it seems as if it is one and the same, but when you extract it out by using this logic, you will be able to see this to be different. Otherwise, you will only keep having this adhyasa. I am not seeing so many people having adhyasa. See, that my face has to look like this. So there is somebody I just saw. So I just told, looks was nice. I mean, even when I was in the US, there is some samskara which she has picked up. See, a few years back, 3-4 years back, when I saw her, nice, bright girl, some with good samskaras. So that time when she came, she was normal. This time when she came to meet me, so it was very difficult for me the moment she entered my room. So some kind of fragrance she has put. I said, let us go out. Okay, not only that, see, that was very difficult. So I said, why are you doing this? I just asked her. So I hope he drops in due course. Some of the others are doing. Then other things, lips and various other things are also there. I said, you are naturally you are beautiful. So why all add this? And of course, in Nakha and various other things, all kinds of things I saw. They don't know what to do with the wealth. Is another problem. You get more, so you go somewhere, you do this alankara, and the kind of dress also I saw. See, earlier it was some normal, this was abnormal business. I mean, not bad, I'm just saying. So very, very, costly things. Why? These are Brahma. So if you are there, you just pick up those kinds of what people are doing around you. So this is a problem. Anyway, so that's what. So this adhyasa, so this goes on with Sharira and how it has to look and so on, various gunas associated with those Shariras. They have to be just dropped. What is given by Ishvara is given. You have to just take that. So that's what he is saying. Dehahattam sakalantaram prabhibhajet munjadishikamiva dhairyena sthiradarshanothamaye. See, dhairyena. Sthiradarshanaha. He means, what does it mean? So those who are fixed in this darshana. So sthira darshana means firmly rooted in Vedanta darshana is one kind of a thing. So darshana you can always also take as simply dhihi. See? So we have this, no? Bhagavad Gita. Sthira buddhihi is there and sthitadhir muniruchyate. See, dukheshvanudvignamanaha sukheshu vigataspruhaha vidaraga-bhaya-krodhaha sthitadhir muniruchyate. See, yas sarvatra-nabhisnehaha tat-tat-prapya shubha-shubham. So that is what he means by. So tat-tat-prapya shubha-shubham, shubham va-ashubham va, where is it related? It is only related to your house, it is only related to the Sharira at most. So that's what. Sudhairyena sthira darshanotha tam ayet. See, ayet means, see, aya gamane. See, so this is gachet means janiyat, understood. Okay. Tam ayet atmanam. So being firmly rooted in this darshana, tam ayet. May you understand this Atman that is described in the Upanishads. How? See, Adyam Brihat Brahmi Brahmahatmaikyavit. So you understand this as Amrita Adyam. See. So then Brihat Sarva Vyapi. sarvavyapinam ishanam. So we have to understand that brahmahatmaikyavit. So once he understands this, evam yeti paramam brahmamritam nirmalam. Saha paramam brahma amritam nirmalam yeti. Okay, now let us read the commentary. Prajnaha kramamukti hetubhutam saguna brahmopāsanam samsara hetubhutam karmava na kuryāt. Understood? There are two aspects which was described. So those who escape through either Sushumna Nadi or any other Nadi. So this is just a way of describing, taking various paths. So those who have done that, so that's what he is just trying to say. Prajnaha means if you are a wise person, then you need not choose these two paths. Okay? They obviously are kramamukti hetu. Okay? So in due course you will come to that path. See, saguna brahmopāsanam samsara hetu bhutam karma cha. The saguna brahmopāsana, you go there and then you don't come back to this world. That is how it is. Okay? So karmavana kuryāt kintu. What is to be done? Sakshan mukti hetu bhutam brahmatma jnanameva sampadayet. So brahmatma jnanam sampadayet. Tacha sampadanam itham ityaha bhutanam iti. Okay? So this is what is stated, bhutanam iti. This verse. Angushta pramanaha saha purushaha atma. So this is just a way of expressing something which is sort of very tiny, okay, since it has to be inside. Purushaha atma sada bhutanam praninam hridaye hridaya pundarike sthitaha tishtati. So since you are giving a location, obviously some measure has to be stated. And it has to be small enough. That is what the idea is. Tishtati. It is a metaphorical usage, what one has to understand. So if I open the heart, will I see now? How will you see? Okay. Dehat tam sakalantaram purusham. Okay. Dehat sakalantaram purusham. Not only this, even jnana. Where is jnana? Buddhi will you be able to see? Nothing can be seen. Granthi also cannot be seen. Everything is metaphorical. Sakalantaram purusham sthira darshanaha purushaha. This is for the sake of understanding. Okay? After all, everything is a taste. So why is this called sugar now? I mean, you have to name something, right? So purusharam sthira darshanaha purushaha. Dhairyena munjat trina visheshat ishikamiva pravibhajet. In fact, the same Dashtanta has been used by Vidyaranya. Okay? It's Panchadashi. There's a verse. I'll just tell you that verse. Yatha munjadishi kaivam. Yatha munjadishi kaivam. Yatha munjadishi kaivam. Atma yuktya samudhritaha. Atma yuktya samudhritaha. Atma yuktya samudhritaha. See, this yuktya samudhritaha is the most important thing. Logically, you have to think and then separate him out. It is not something which can be physically separated out. Yuktya samudhritaha. Even there, yuktya. If you just munjya dishika, then you will cut the grass. See, there also some knack is required. Yuktya samudhritaha. Sharirat tritayad dhiraihi. Sharirat tritayad dhiraihi. Sharirat tritayad dhiraihi. Param brahmaiva jayate. Param brahmaiva jayate. Param brahmaiva jayate. This is what he just nicely saying. See, yuktya samudhritaha sharirat tritayat. Sthula Sharirat, Sukshma Sharirat, Karana Sharirat, Param Brahma Jayate. So this is Vidyaranya's nice verse. Dhairyena Munjat Trinavisheshat Shikamiva Pravibhaje. May you separate this out. Yuktya. Dehadibhyaha vivechayet ityarthaha. That is the idea. Dehadibhyaha vivechayet. Atha evam vivechane krite. So once you are able to do this kind of analysis and then segregate it out, there is a huge benefit. So atha evam vivechane krite sati vidvan tam vivechitam atmanam adyam brihat brahmeti ayet. Tam vivechitam. So this is same as that Brahman. See, Sachidananda Rupa. So that Janiyat, make him understand that. See, Evam Brahmat Maikyavit Saha Vidvan. So once you do this, okay, once you train yourself to gain this jnana, and slowly it gets rooted deeply within you, so then Paramam Nirmalam Amritam Brahma Yeti Prapnoti. So then you become one with Brahman. So this is what he finally concludes. Okay. So this is what the mantra Tam Vidya Shukram Amritam, Tam Vidya Shukram Amritam. So the key word here is Vivechane Krite. That is what we don't do. Vivechane Krite. So this Vivechana one has to do. In fact, there is a nice verse. What we normally keep doing is, this is very nicely brought out. I'll tell you. Kshutrishna lopamatre. Repeat. Kshutrishna lopamatre. Kshutrishna lopamatre. Satata kritadhiyaha. Satata kritadhiyaha. Satata kritadhiyaha. Jantavas santyanantaha. Jantavas santyanantaha. Jantavas santyanantaha. Tebhyo vijnanavatvat. Tebhyo vijnanavatvat. Tebhyo vijnanavatvat. Purushaiha varaha. Purushaiha varaha. Purushaiha varaha. Tajjanir durlabhaiva. Tajjanir durlabhaiva. Tajjanir durlabhaiva. Tatrapyatmatmanasyat. 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 Suhurdapi cha ripuhu. Suhurdapi cha ripuhu. Suhurdapi cha ripuhu. Yastvainyastachetaha. 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 Tapochitterupayam. 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 Smarati sahi suhrit. Smarati sahi suhrit. Smarati sahi suhrit. Svatmavairi tatonyaha. Svatmavairi tatonyaha. Svatmavairi tatonyaha. So what he says is, generally what people keep doing is Kshutrishna lopamatre. Kshud lope, Trishna lope. Satata kritadhiyaha. Of course, everybody has to engage for a short while. But only in fulfilling the desires. See, today we will go to that hotel, we will go to this hotel. There are some people who keep talking about all the time. Sadata kritadhiyaha jantavas santyanantaha. They will travel half an hour, 1 hour, 1.5 hours. Jantavaha santi anantaha santi. After all, Kshut is some vyadhi, right? Kshut vyadhishcha chikitsatam. That's what he said. Kshudvyātischa chikitsatamrita. Inge povane 2 மணி நேரம். So satata kritadhiyaha jantavas santyanantaha tebhyo vijnanavatvat. Vijnanavatvat purusha iha varaha. So this fellow is considered Sreshtha because he has this ability to vivechana. That's what I was trying to say. Vivechana reminded me of this. Vijnanavatvat purusha iha varaha. Tajjanihi durlabhaiva. Tatrapi Atma Atmanaha Suhrudvasyat Ripurvasyat. You will be your own friend, provided you engage in this and save yourself. Otherwise, you will be your own enemy. Tatrapi Atmatmanasyat Suhrudapi cha Ripuhu. Atma Atmanaha Suhrudvasyat Ripurvasyat. Yastvayanyastachetaha. See, those who have left their mind in you. In you means in this scripture, in either Vedanta or in Bhakti, whichever way it is. Yastvayanyastachetaha tapochitte rupayam. See, tapochittehe upayam. This is the means for tapochitte. Otherwise, you will be eternally in tapa. Tapochitte rupayam smarati. That fellow, sahi suhrit swatmavairi tatonyaha. So that fellow is just an enemy for himself. Why? He is landing himself into trouble. So that is what he is trying to. I think this is in Narayaniyam somewhere. This comes just reminded of this. Somewhere he says, so that is what this Rāmarāya also here said, and Upanishad also pleads with us. Tam vidyāt chukram amritam, tam vidyāt chukram amritam iti. That is why even the ihacheda vedi datha satyamasti nachediha vedin mahati vinashtihi. This is what Kena Upanishad also says. I think we'll stop here and I will announce something after this class is over. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryan Karavavahi Tejasvinavadhi Tamastuma Viddishavahi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarve Pasukhinas Santu Sarve Santaniramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukha Bhak Bhavet. Om